For a tailored crop and pasture management program and to plan your seed, ag chem and fertiliser, find your local PGG Wrightson technical field representative at store.pggwrightson.co.nz.
All right, welcome back to CountryWide Connect today. Great to have you with us. Disappointing news that Hawke's Bay vegetable growers have withdrawn their bid to purchase the McCain vegetable processing facility in Hastings due to the required processing equipment being made unavailable. Yes, that's not going to work, is it? Here to discuss the impact on the region and the path forward for the Central Hawke's Bay is Central Hawke's Bay Mayor Will Foley. G'day, Will. Welcome to the show, mate. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, g'day, Andy. Good to be here.
Fantastic to have you. Hey, just quickly, before we get into it, for people whose geography is limited, particularly North Island, Central Hawke's Bay encompasses what areas? What's your towns? Where are you?
Yeah, so Waipakaro, Waipawa would be our two main towns, and then we've got lots of villages, Porongaho to the south, Otani to the north, Takapo, Tikakino out to the west, Ongonga. So, yeah, very much a rural district. Largely sheep and beef farming, a little bit of dairy, a little bit of horticulture, and obviously some cash cropping.
So, obviously, this the fact that this, I suppose, the McCain's were shutting down the vegetable processing factory in the first place, and then there was a bid by the growers to take over the factory and buy it, I suppose, and keep that processing plant in operation. It says that the processing equipment was made unavailable. Was it as simple as McCain's going, look, we don't want to invite competition into our industry?
Look, you could speculate a lot of things there, Andy. Right from the start, there were inspections of the factory, and all that plant was in there and considered available. The growers liked the condition of the plant, what was in there, and so that was a big part of their decision to go ahead with a bid for the land, the buildings, and the plant inside. And so it's pretty disappointing to get to this stage and then for McCain's to say that that's not available. And obviously with that unavailable, it doesn't make a lot of sense to continue that bid at this stage.
So was it a surprise? Had it got to quite a late stage? How late a stage? How close was it to this being pulled off? Well,
they've been in negotiations for, I can't recall exactly, maybe about 6 weeks. Commercial discussions and negotiations around this. And so, if this was the case at the start, it obviously wasn't made clear because they wouldn't have gone on this long. But it doesn't mean that the rest of the work that we've been doing around the feasibility, the discussions with government around support, and just acknowledging what's happened here, and just looking at food security and production in New Zealand, that none of that goes away. So we're still doing plenty of work without this bid carrying on.
So what does that work look like? Is there a possibility that there could be something similar in the region then with outside capital? Well, you need capital for this, right?
Absolutely. So what hasn't changed is we've still got these farmers with some great soils, producing great crops. We've got some irrigation. Obviously, there's a couple of water storage schemes being proposed in the region, and we've got demand for the product. So the feedback we've had from the public across New Zealand since this first news broke has just been incredible, around people wanting to support buying New Zealand made food and just supporting the New Zealand food industry, because this all sort of broke around the same time as the war in the Middle East, and we're all wondering whether ships are going to turn up with fuel. And what people don't want to get into this state or stage is depending on ships turning up with food either. So and just seems pretty doesn't make any sense that we can't produce our own good quality food and produce in our own country. So yeah, look, we have had some support from government around looking at the feasibility. We would certainly like more. And what we're saying to them is, even if we got some negative results from that feasibility study, that's actually, we need to know that as well. but from the limited support we've had, from the work we've started, the results are actually looking promising. So it's definitely worth continuing. And so what does it look like? Yeah, it'll look like starting again from scratch, basically around the factory and the processing. So that was quite a large site in Hastings where McCain's was. We could look at a smaller site, smaller building, and not as much capital outlay, although we're going to have to start from scratch with the plant inside.
Yeah, so the feasibility study is still underway then, right? Is that what I heard you saying? So that's going to continue, and you're right, you could get a negative, but if you get a negative, that's good because you know not to go forward. And so then further discussion. What does it mean for your region to lose this? Because you talked about these farmers, they've got good soils in that area, access to water potentially. Can't they pivot to a different type of horticulture?
Yes, there's a lot of horticultural development going on as well in the region, particularly in Central Hawke's Bay. There's been some large-scale development going on in recent years, and that has actually, the results from that have proved very successful and matching up with the best horticultural operations in the Hastings Plains. I guess the downside for that is the large capital outlay for investing in horticulture versus cash cropping. So these farmers, they enjoy their systems that they have now. The cash cropping, forms part of their diversified range of systems on their farm, such as alongside other crops, livestock farming, etc. And they would like to keep it that way. They're happy with what they're doing. And so for them to keep doing that, we obviously need a factory and a market for them to keep producing and selling.
All right. Well, we're just about out of time, but so the door's not closed. So there is possibility that once this feasibility study's gone through, that there is something. Because you're right, if they've got to invest in a whole lot of new plant for a new horticulture, then they might as well put some of that money into a co-op kind of arrangement, maybe some sort of to get a plant up and running, a processing plant.
Absolutely, and that's what the feasibility study will give us, the confidence that that's the way to go forward. We've got we're looking for more support from government. There's the Primary Production Select Committee that are doing their briefing, which myself, the Hastings Mayor, and other growers will go down and make submissions to. And so look, there's plenty of activity still going on. We're not giving up on this yet.
All right, really appreciate your time. Will Foley, Mayor of the Central Hawke's Bay, thanks so much for joining us on CountryWide Connect today. Good luck. We'll keep in touch and follow it closely.
Thanks a lot, Andy.
All right, time to have a quick break. We're going to come back with Rural News with Rural News Extraordinaire, Richard Badley, and then we are going to chat to Millie Aiken of Bar M Custom Tack. She was recently awarded or announced as the Young Businesswoman of the Year at the NZI Rural Women New Zealand Business Awards.
Every season brings new challenges. PGG writes and works alongside you in the field, delivering practical agronomy advice where it matters. CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lapp.